Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Kingdom Hearts 3 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Sora, Goofy, and Donald Duck hook up once again to fight nobodies, Heartless, and even Hades. Yeah, some of our favorite Disney worlds are back. One of the first things you recognize is the familiar faces from all of the Disney movies that are connected to the Kingdom Hearts universe. Specifically, the beginning of the game, you're thrust into Mount Olympus, where you reunite with Hercules. You try to take down Hades. And throughout this journey, you're quickly introduced to not only the old physics of combat, the gliding, the jumping, the, of course, striking and magic, but you're also introduced to new gameplay elements like being able to spin around a pillar and use that as a propeller device, so Sora can unleash a buzzsaw-like attack with his Keyblade. Stuff like that adds to the overall feel of the expansion of the gameplay. Very similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, where they added stuff like the second form, which also returns here, where Sora becomes a more powered up version of himself that is able to unleash some devastating attacks with the touch of the triangle button or the Y button, depending on what you're playing. One of the biggest things that I thoroughly enjoy about Kingdom Hearts 3 in comparison to the original is the fact that it just seems like there's so much going on when it comes to the abilities, when it comes to summon attacks, when it comes to double team maneuvers, that you are able to do incredibly fast. I love the fact that the game doesn't make you wait for all the big things to happen, featuring things such as a pirate ship being called into action or a roller coaster being called into action. For all the new things that comes with Kingdom Hearts 3, the collectibles, some of the gameplay modifications, even some of the old things that have been modified and changed, such as the gummy ships. The gummy ship has been one of those things I never really cared about in any Kingdom Hearts game, but at least this time it's a little bit more action oriented as you fly around the world map and actually can have battles, which aren't bad. You know, find the gummy ship is a little rough around the edges, but it's not bad. And it's probably the most enjoyable experience I've had with the gummy ship in any Kingdom Hearts game thus far. As dark as the story really is when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, the overall feel is still fluffy, it's still fun, it's still good-hearted, it's still good-natured. And it's one of those things that it makes you feel like a kid again, or in the case of yours truly, like a high schooler again. Because Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, I was a senior in high school, but just makes me feel giddy again as you play it, just because of the fact that Sora and Donald and Goofy are just so naturally good and so naturally nice. If there is a flaw when it comes to the gameplay, it's the implementation of magic. It's always been a flaw in the Kingdom Hearts games, where it just feels a little bit too hard to aim to really get an effective strike on someone. It never feels like it's gratifying. Speaking of moving targets, sometimes the enemies can be incredibly hard to hit, no matter how you maneuver yourself, especially with the unyielding camera. Even though the camera has the free flow 360-degree movement, it still can be a little bit of a pain, especially in more enclosed areas, which again has been a problem the Kingdom Hearts games have had in the past, and it just seems like it's something they'll never really be able to rectify, which is unfortunate. From a production and a presentation standpoint, it's still incredible. It's just immaculate, and once again, it just makes you feel so giddy, especially if you're a longtime fan of the franchise. Even if you haven't played anything between 2 and 3, you will still have a big smile on your face. For newcomers, I don't know if they will appreciate it as much. That's the biggest flaw to me with this game. It doesn't feel like a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 2. For those gamers, I definitely suggest you go back, play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 at least. if not played, you know, the big Story So Far compilations that are easy purchases now, no matter what console you own. Great thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 is just how familiar it feels compared to the old games. I haven't really played a Kingdom Hearts game since Kingdom Hearts 2, and I feel like I haven't lost a step. So for gamers who can go back and play those older games, you will come into 3 and just feel like it's right at home. For longtime Kingdom Hearts fans, so far, to me, this is everything we would have wanted and more. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Kingdom Hearts 3 for the PS4 and Xbox One. Now, if you don't mind, I have to embrace my childhood, and if that means Sora has to become a toy in the process, then so be it. But I am excited to see what kind of gigantic mech battles Sora can get into and force all of those other toys being blasted down by his laser cannons to say, "Oh Lordy!"